Welcome viewers, welcome to ITV Gold Tax Tips. My name is AJ Kumar, I'm an accountant, a CPA. In today's tax tip, we'll talk about who should file a 1099 miscellaneous. What is 1099 miscellaneous? What's the difference between an employee versus a contractor? What's good for the business? Why do a lot of businesses wants to get 1099 contractors as opposed to employees? What's the obligation around here? And how does the state, how does the IRS decide who is an employee and who is a contractor? Stay tuned. So let's look at the difference first. In a contractual relationship, you're not obligated to keep the person around for n number of days and number of months. In a contractual relationship, you can let the person go anytime at your convenience. As a business, you're not responsible for paying the payroll taxes. You're not responsible for paying any benefit, the sick leave, the vacation. A contractual relationship is you get this work done and I'll pay you this much money. On the other hand, an employee is a relationship where you have to pay the employee certain amount of money. There is an obligation from the business side that this employee must be paid so much money at this interval or so frequently. You have to have certain benefits. You have to have sick leave. You have to follow certain guidelines related to overtime. In a contractual relationship, in a 1099 contractor, you have no obligation to pay the overtime. So a lot of small businesses wants to get the 1099 contractor as opposed to an employee to avoid all these hassles, to avoid all these ancillary benefits which you don't have to give as a business to 1099 contractors. So in a 1099 contractors, the business is expected to file 1099 miscellaneous or 1099 NEC they call it, starting this year. 1099 non-employee compensation is a report that needs to be filed for all contractors by the business. The obligation remains on the business to file the 1099. Now, if you paid as a business, if you paid more than $600 throughout the year, in total, not one transaction, in total, in the full calendar year, if you paid $600 or more, you as a business have an obligation to file 1099 NEC, which used to be called 1099 miscellaneous, with the IRS and with the state. A copy must be sent to the contractor as well. If the contractor, the person who provided the service, is a corporation, it could be the S Corp or a C Corp, you don't have to file this 1099 NEC. If the amount is less than $600, you don't have to file the 1099 miscellaneous. If you are not a business, if you are a single individual tax filer and you hired a plumber, you don't have an obligation to file the 1099. As a business, if you hire the plumber, the electrician, and they are LLC or independent proprietorship, you have an obligation as a business to be issuing a 1099 to all these consultants, to all these contractors. Now, how does the IRS decide? Where is the gray line? Let's look over here. So the first thing they are looking at, does the individual gets training from your shop? If the individual who is providing the service is trained by you, then typically it's an employee-employer relationship as opposed to a 1099 contractual relationship. If the individual must perform the services by himself, by herself, or can they assign this job to somebody else? Say, for example, you come to me for tax filing. I don't have to do the tax filing myself. I can have somebody else do the tax filing and then give you the taxes. I'm a contractor for you. But if you say, AJ, you have to come to my office, do this accounting services for 8 hours a day, and I'll pay you $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month. That's an employee-employer relationship. When you control the hours, when you control the training, when you control that this person has to do specifically this job, that's more of an employee-employer relationship as opposed to a contractual relationship. See, if the individual is paid by an hour, or if the individual have a fixed salary, that's more of an indication of an employee-employer relationship as opposed to a contractual relationship. In most contractual relationship, I'll pay you $500 to get this work done. As opposed to you come over here in the morning, depending on how many hours you take, depending on how many weeks, how many months you work for, you will get a fixed salary based on the hourly rate, based on the weekly rate, based on the monthly rate. So this is how all these factors, they are used in whole sum. There is no one factor that you can use to say, oh, I'm an employee or I'm a contractor. You have to look at this list holistically to see where do you lead, what's most common in your situation. Look at other factors. So if the worker is suffering from a loss, if the worker does not do what they're supposed to do, who is at loss? Is it your loss or is it worker's loss? Say, for example, you give me some job to do taxes and your taxes are not done the same day. Then do I suffer or do you suffer? Depending on who is at loss, that's an employee-employer relationship. Can you terminate the relationship? With a contractor, you can terminate the relationship at will anytime. For an employee, you cannot just say, don't show up tomorrow. You may have to have a 1 week of pay, 2 weeks of pay, certain severance pay you may have to consider. So all these factors are looked at when the government, the IRS, the state decides if this relationship is an employee-employer relationship. And please remember, again, in an employee-employer relationship, when you are paying the employee on a W-2 as opposed to 1099, you as a business are expected to withhold certain FICA taxes, 6.2% of Social Security, 1.45% of Medicare taxes. So 50% of these taxes are paid by the business and 50% of these taxes are paid by the employee. In a contractor relationship, they pay self-employment taxes. So the business is not paying any FICA taxes for a contractual relationship. The business prefers contractor. While a lot of people will say, oh, I'm looking for a job. I would like to be an employee as opposed to contractor. So they have some certainty around it. So please look at the list. Check with your CPA what makes most sense. Please do not assume anything. Until next time, stay tuned. AJ Kumar, CPA. Thank you.